This all started a little over a month ago. Ava, my 13-year-old daughter, came back from a sleepover with her friend Sarah, and things have never been the same since. She came back the next day around 7:30 in the morning, accompanied with the same cheerfulness she left with. I was waiting in the kitchen when she came and gave me a warm, tight hug. "Mama, I missed you." "Oh, my baby. Go get freshened up and we'll go to the supermarket if you weren't tired." Ava chuckled. "I'm never tired for supermarkets, you know," and gave me her usual goofy wink while she made her way up to her room. I smiled. That was probably the last time I smiled so carefree, not knowing what lies ahead. I'm a single mother from Toronto, and me and my daughter live by ourselves. I am a nursery teacher and a part-time daycare worker as well. That day was Sunday, and I had a day off. Ava didn't have any upcoming exams, and I thought it could never be this perfect to spend some mother-daughter quality time. She came back from her room after showering, looking elegant in a flowy floral pink dress, and we went shopping. Things were quite normal until she insisted to try on a few makeup samples. The saleswoman was really nice to us. After a few trials, she told me, "I think it would look better on her after she is ready." And Ava said, "I am actually quite ready, young lady," with a weird look on her face. "What about her makes you think she's not ready?" I asked and laughed it off immediately. I don't know. Maybe she wears glasses and forgot today," the confused saleswoman replied after a few seconds. "No, miss, my eyesight is nearly perfect," grunted Ava, and we walked out of the store. I didn't think about it much at that moment, but now, I wish I had. After roaming around the mall, we went to the McDonald's and met a co-teacher from my school while on the counter. She seemed extremely friendly on seeing my daughter and surprisingly remarked the same thing. Something is off with her face. Does she wear glasses or possibly a nose ring? No, she doesn't. What makes you think that? I asked, puzzled, because to me, there was nothing off with her face. She quickly patched her words up and left after a few conversations, and I too forgot about it in a matter of minutes. The third person to notice this was our neighbor, Shelley. While on our way home, we saw her gardening her front yard and greeted her, of course. "Hey, Ava. Hey, Carol. Where have you guys been?" "Just to the supermarket, the park, and the McDonald's, obviously," replied Ava in her bubbly tone. "Well, great, but what's with that face?" "What face?" I feel like there's something missing on your face. Probably eyeliner or something?" No, I've never worn an eyeliner before. They make my eyes itch." "Oh, I can't really figure out what it is." Well, anyways, I'm glad you guys had fun. Bye, ladies," replied Shelley as she walked up to her door. "Mom, just look at me. What's wrong with my face today?" Ava grunted as soon as we reached home. "I don't know, honey. I think you look absolutely perfect. I'm confused why they might think otherwise," I replied, equally confused as her. "I've looked at myself almost 178 times today in the mirror everywhere. I see nothing different. I'm just gonna go take a nap." She rushed into her room. At this point, I started to worry, but I didn't really know what to worry about. Maybe they were right. She might have had a lot of fun last night and missed a few hours of sleep and looked drowsy. I brushed it off and went to follow up with the chores. But things started to get worse. The next day, my sister Amanda paid us a visit and remarked something missing on her face, although she had seen my daughter at least 1,000,000 times before this. Ava had a rough day at school, followed with everyone remarking about the change in her face, which was actually unchanged. Or so I thought. This carried on almost daily for a straight week. What's more agonizing is that people didn't really get used to that particular change. They pointed it out almost every day, every time they saw her, and it started to get beyond crazy. We matched up her current face with her old pictures on her social media and ended up finding no difference. Our relatives, friends, neighbor, everybody said that there was a difference in both the faces, but couldn't really explain what. It got out of control when people started commenting on her posts or messaging her asking if she had done some surgeries or anything with her face, or is it a new makeup style she acquired. We couldn't take it. Ava stopped going to school, afraid of the infinite remarks and questions from her friends, teachers, even the school guards. I've tried to make her understand to not freak out, but even I had no answers to her questions. It escalated from people we know to almost everyone who saw her remarking about the change in her face, a change that nobody could explain, but it was just there. I felt ashamed to have to go out with her and get bombarded with weird questions about a non-existent change. I started panicking and would miss lunch and dinner on certain days. I never felt like my daughter would ever be the source of my anxiety. Ava has been quieter ever since. We don't go anywhere together anymore. She stays in her room and comes out occasionally asking for food. Honestly, I don't miss the chance to taunt her about being a burden on me and being the reason for this trauma on me with her stupid face. I mean, gosh, I really don't know what she did with it, but it's just driving me crazy to even see her. Yesterday, as I called out for her to shove the bread butter into her mouth so she didn't starve herself that night, she just wouldn't answer. First, she puts me through all this, and now that stubborn thing won't even bother to answer. I burst into the door and found her lifeless by the fan. The sounds of sirens filled our community, neighbors peeking in for a look as I sat there motionless. I wasn't upset or crying or anything. I was not upset or crying. I don't know why I was even bothered. She was my daughter, but she was the reason I had to face all of this. Maybe that's what she wanted. Or deserved. Her room has been sealed. The forensics took her fingerprints. All the neighbors and relatives confirmed me of being a nice mother, so I wasn't handcuffed or questioned. Just left there. Alone. This morning, as I somehow managed to drag myself to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, I found out we were out of supplies. I forced my legs to the nearest grocer who, as expected, stuttered a couple of questions, suggestions, or whatsoever about my dead daughter. Unwillingly, I replied of whatever I thought was appropriate. But then, she said something that froze my blood. "Something is off with your face today."